In the last crypto bull run, we saw projects like Polygon and Solana soar by over 150x and made millionaires in the process. But what seems like an obvious investment now didn't seem so obvious back then. This type of success is the goal of every crypto investor, but most people don't know how to achieve it. In fact, most investors who try to do this type of investing end up with projects that turn out to be complete scams. That's why today I'm sharing my personal framework to find the next hidden crypto gem destined to explode. Welcome back to the Virtual Bacon channel, where I teach you how to build wealth with crypto. Before we get started on gem hunting, you should know that nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice and is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Everything discussed today is only based on my personal experience, so make sure to create your own plans to execute in the end. A well thought out plan is what separates those who want to gamble from the people who want to make educated decisions, even in the case of low cap gem hunting. And my number one secret to crypto investing is information flow. So let's get into it. Why is information flow so important in crypto investing? There are three main factors to think about. First, unlike traditional finance, crypto is highly unregulated and project teams can tease and release early information to benefit their project. This means that the information available to crypto investors can pack much more early alpha than in traditional investing. Secondly, crypto trades 24/7. All coins are accessible to everyone. This means crypto investors can often participate in new project launches as early as insiders. There are new DeFi tokens listing and launching every day. Lastly, insider information are plenty in the crypto space. They're almost like the norm. And these alpha signals are often delayed by weeks and even months before reaching the general public. So just knowing the face level information on large news sources and social media is not enough. That's why if you want to succeed in crypto, you need to be on top of your information flow and information game. Otherwise, you end up on the opposite end and will always chase late narratives when they are already hyped up. There are so much information out there in crypto news outlets. However, not every news source is made the same. You need to distinguish between a good source versus a bad source. So let's discuss this. What are some typical good information sources in crypto? In general, you want to aim for high information density and low opinion-based sources. This is the key factor that differentiates a good source versus a bad source. Here are some useful information source types that I like to follow. First off, we have tracker sites like CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, AppleClock, DeFi Llama, etc. These are always good because they only focus on the factual information and metrics to give you a direct comparison between projects. There isn't any bias or opinions. Now, unlike tracker websites which focus on numbers and metrics, I have to give a bit of warning on large crypto news sites like CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, Decrypt, and The Block, etc. Although these news sources are often seen as the expert outlets in crypto, they are definitely not perfect. All of the publications on these websites can be bought as promotional packages for your specific project. Yes, they have certain selection criteria which acts as due diligence, but still keep this in mind, a lot of it can be promotion. When it comes to larger narratives and events reporting, these news sites can often recycle information that happened weeks and even months ago. Whenever I read a highly intriguing piece of news that's seemingly a huge event, I don't act on it right away with just one news source. Instead, I usually search for the same keywords on Google and Twitter to find out if this news is accurate and if it's truly breaking news that people haven't reacted to. More often than not, the headlines would have been over-exaggerated for publicity, or sometimes the events have even happened months ago and have long been speculated on. Things like mainnet launches, large partnerships with TradFi companies, certain countries embracing or banning crypto, all of these types of large news fall into this category. In general, always fact check your crypto news from news websites. Never trust one single source alone. Next up on the good information source types, we have listicle newsletters. These are typically newsletters that you receive in your email and can also read on Substack. Keep in mind, not all newsletters are useful in crypto, as some of them can be highly vague and only discuss the most popular topics for the sake of clicks. This is why I like to focus on listicle newsletters. These are things like daily or weekly updates that cover a large amount of news updates with only 1 or 2 lines of description for each event. Without the extra added opinion, these These lists have very high information density and covers a wide range of topics. You can quickly skim through them and they can act as really good starting points for your research. And because there's so much information covered with not much opinion, you can trust that they are not shilling any specific project. Some of my favorite crypto newsletters right now are Lynn's Leverage, Crypto Illuminati, The Daily Degen, and Shiro's Alpha. The next good information source type is crypto Twitter. Twitter is probably the best place for crypto alpha because it's where most of the power users in the crypto space spend their time. So you get the fastest breaking news and highly advanced strategies. If you've ever read a crypto news article on one of the bigger news publications like Yahoo, CNBC, CoinDesk, or Cointelegraph, chances are the source of the articles came from Twitter. Nowadays, however, Twitter is quickly becoming another engagement farming social media platform. There are so many so-called Twitter alpha accounts who only post long Twitter threads that are copying everyone else's ideas. You need to avoid these high engagement farming tweets. For example, if an account uses 20 tweets in one thread just to talk about one specific project, you should consider if this is a paid advertisement. Otherwise, why would they give the alpha away just like that? From my experience, most of the insider alpha comes in two types of tweets on Twitter. The first type is just super short, cryptic tweets. This usually happens when someone finds an interesting project early and tweets out its name without doing much research. The best example recently is the super hyped up Pepe coin. CT people found this meme very early and tweeted it very early as well. The second type comes in the form of lists. Whenever I see a tweet thread covering 5 to 10 projects in a specific narrative or covering the top events or project launches for the week, these can be really good alpha. Essentially, it summarizes everything that happened in a specific narrative and it kicks you off for your crypto research. Some of my current favorite Twitter accounts to follow that meet these criteria are the following: C4.gg, who posts daily project launch as lists; Olympio Alpha, which is really good for new airdrops; Fungi Alpha, which posts weekly project launches and events for the entire week. Just by reading that one long thread, you get all of the top projects that launched, all of the top events for the week. Saves you so much time. Lastly, DeFi Maestro, who posts daily DeFi Catalyst events and actually shares his personal trades. Okay, moving on, the next type of alpha that I like to follow comes from private crypto communities. No, I'm not talking about signal groups or any specific programs that guarantee you profits if you just follow their trades. I'm talking about actual communities with other investors. These insider communities usually exist on Telegram or Discord. We have one as well for the Virtual Bacon community called the Primal Labs Discord, which will be opening up in the future. The main benefit of private communities is that you can use them to verify your news sources and research topics. For instance, whenever I find an interesting NFT project, I would go on this NFT traders Discord called The One. Then I would search for the project name in their Discord and see whether this project has been mentioned. So if whatever NFT I saw is a legitimate opportunity, most likely an NFT experts community with thousands of members would have caught it as well. And that's how I like to use these communities. If the project hasn't been mentioned in that experts community, this could be a red flag for my research. Perhaps I missed something. On the other hand, if I thought the project is under the radar and very new, but the private community have already been discussing and buying it for weeks, then chances are I'm already late to the party. This style of research is not only limited to NFTs. You can also join DeFi farming servers, low-cap gem hunting servers on specific new blockchains like zkSync or Arbitrum, or any community that fits your interest. You can also cross-check new investment opportunities across multiple communities to see if they have been mentioned in different groups. This usually acts as a quality check signal. Some of my favorite private communities currently are The One, which is already mentioned, super good for NFT trading. DeFi Dojo, this is the best one for DeFi farming and finding the best DeFi yields. Alpha DAO, Unidentified DAO, and DigitStyle, these are three Degen Alpha communities that focus on new project launches and early narratives that are really ahead of the game. Then lastly, of course, we have our own Primal Labs Discord, which is our own community with project launches, narratives, and my personal alpha. We're going to be opening up this program soon. Next up on the information sources, we have to talk about YouTube, TikTok, and video social platforms in general. I personally think a majority of popular YouTube video topics are not useful as information sources. You have to think about the paradigm paradox of YouTube video alpha. The goal of most YouTube channels is to gain views. We can all agree on this. In order to maximize views, creators have to choose video topics that are well known, easy to access and understand, and have high search volume. So typical narratives like AI coins, China coins, Arbitrum and zk-Sync airdrop, etc., are everywhere on YouTube right now. But in order to make profits from these narratives, you need to learn and get into them early before they actually become popular. This directly contradicts with the goal of getting more views on a YouTube video, since the topic has to be already popular and already well understood for it to get lots of views. Even if a creator has some insider early alpha, they would not likely share it until the event happens much later. This applies to me as well. I've made a whole bunch of videos about airdrop and ecosystems of Arbitrum, zk-Sync, and Starknet early last year. Yet none of those videos were popular. Ironically, these same video topics became super popular right before the airdrops and right before the mainnet launches of these projects. And shortly after the airdrops actually happened and when the information was already widespread, the videos actually became even better performing. All in all, YouTube is a decent place to look for new crypto ideas to get you started with your own research. However, the popularity-driven goal of YouTube directly contradicts with the nature of early crypto alpha. This is why highly popular YouTube video topics are often not the most useful. I'm not even talking about clickbait or using specific keywords. We do that all the time on the Virtual Bacon channel with things like how to make $1 million or how to find 100x coins. However, what we try to do differently is only using the title and thumbnail as a hook to draw people in, but trying to deliver a more evergreen and educational video. Far too often, so many channels only touch upon the face level information about the most popular trends, and they always praise the narrative that everyone likes right now and shits on the coin that everyone hates right now. Those types of content that just jump on the new bandwagon every few weeks are what you want to avoid. In general, focus on evergreen content that continues to remain useful over multiple years, or try to target research narratives and investment sectors that you are not familiar with and are not often talked about. And these two types of YouTube videos I think are actually useful. Last bit of advice about social media in general. Never follow advice from your favorite content creators blindly. While I make videos on my personal favorite coins and investment strategies, you should not invest in something just because I like it. Remember, everyone has their own circumstance, their own risk tolerance, and different investment styles, and that cannot be copied from another investor. Okay, lastly, when it comes to highly in-depth knowledge about specific projects, there is one type of information source that beats everyone else, and that is with podcast or interviews of project founders. These interviews are usually longer YouTube videos or audio podcasts, usually aiming for 30 to 60 minutes long. And they're not just any podcast that talks about a variety of projects with chit-chat. Rather, it's an hour-long deep dive back and forth about specific projects. Here's a couple examples. This one interview of the Arbitrum CEO Steven Goldfeder on the Empire podcast had a ton of alpha. They talked about Arbitrum Nova, Arbitrum AnyTrust, Arbitrum's future, and how they think they are going to keep doing optimistic rollup and they're not going to do ZK rollup, and how Arbitrum is heavily betting on the Ethereum EIP 4844 upgrade, also known as proto-dank sharding. This is actually a huge upgrade coming to Ethereum later in 2023. And only through this video podcast did I learn that proto-dank sharding actually benefits layer 2s like Arbitrum instead of Ethereum itself. Another example is this other interview with the zk-Sync project founder on the Bankless podcast in late 2022. The Bankless hosts asked some very pressing questions about the zk-Sync tokenomics, and it was exclusively revealed on this interview that zk-Sync will have its token, and there will be 1/3 of its tokens allocated to the team and investors, and at least 2/3 of the tokens to the public community. As you guys know, zk-Sync token is super hyped up. Lots of people are trying to get the airdrop, but there actually isn't any official information on the zk-Sync website, blog, or any announcements about about the tokenomics. So the fact that this tokenomics information came out and was confirmed on the Bankless podcast was huge alpha. The point is, when these podcast interviews focus on the deep technology roadmaps of specific large projects, the information is usually ahead of the curve. Most people simply do not understand it or are too lazy to sit through 1 hour of interview. Just look at the YouTube video views. Arbitrum narrative hype videos get hundreds of thousands of views when the token is already launched. Yet the real deep dive videos with the real Arbitrum founders and the real alpha get only a few thousand views on YouTube. That's why I think podcasts and interviews about specific project deep dives can provide super early alpha than the popular YouTube videos. And of course, much better than the TikToks and IG Reels of the world. The easier to digest the information is, the more it appeals to a larger audience. But this usually means the information is either too late or too oversimplified. Okay, there you have it. These are the top information sources that I use to stay on top of the crypto markets. Remember, information flow is the king to crypto investing. No matter if you're trading around specific events with swing trades, or if you're targeting new token sales, or DeFi shitcoins, or if you're trying to find DeFi yield farms, no matter what it is, information flow is the real secret sauce to crypto investing. YouTube, TikTok, and other large news sites and popular Twitter accounts are often not the most reliable as good information sources. They can be really hit or miss depending on where you look. On the other hand, listicle Twitter, listicle newsletters, crypto tracker sites like CoinGecko, 8 O'Clock, or DeFi Llama, in-depth podcast interviews that actually go deep dive into one specific project, and private communities. These are the information sources that I use to focus on and generate crypto alpha. Lastly, always cross-check your information, especially if the information seems highly curated, if it targets one specific project or narrative, and if it's gaining large amounts of views. And that's it for today. If you want more of my investing insights, just like, head on over to virtualbacon.com and sign up for my free newsletter with over 12,000 friendly readers. Every week, I write about crypto investing guides, the latest market events, and even ecosystem explainers. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.